emotionally, how can you be an advocate for something that you don't understand the ins and outs of? Simple. I'm an advocate for all kinds of things that I don't understand the ins and outs of. I don't understand the mechanism by which my vehicle operates. I do understand the relative components to it, but I could never explain from beginning to end all the things that go into making my car work. But I'm still advocate for driving my car. Okay? I don't understand I have a general understanding for the way an HVAC system works. But I don't understand the specifics. If you were to lead me where I had to build an HVAC system from scratch, I could not do it. That doesn't mean that my opinion about an HVAC service is somehow inadequate. And those are just really practical statements of where this kind of comparison falls apart. The other truth is that the person who is challenging you to this, that question they're asking may be relevant in the conversation. And that's an opportunity to have a discussion about having faith in something that you don't completely understand. And there's ways to justify the fact that I have faith in things that I don't completely understand. But if that inability to answer hard questions is treated as an indictment, that can easily be turned around. Whoever you're talking to has accepted certain things on faith. Now, it's not the same as a religious faith. They may say it's a rational faith, it's a probability faith, whatever. But they cannot explain the ins and outs of every manifestation of what they believe. It's too big. And that's okay for them. And it needs to be okay for you. Now, if they ask you a hard question you can't answer to, there are ways you can respond and say, I don't know the answer to that question. But the reason not knowing the answer doesn't bother me is because of blah, 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 blah. We're called to always be prepared to have an answer for the hope that we have. And that hope is wrapped up in reasonability and rationality. But it's important that we understand it's our hope that is the bigger tell of what we believe. My hope, and Christian hope, is not a faith, it's not a belief. Christian hope is based on knowing the outcome due to what Christ has done. So therefore, I don't have to know the answer to the question to advocate for Christianity. And the fact that someone can come along and ask me a hard question about the Christian worldview that I don't have an incredibly satisfactory answer towards. Why is it that perfectly, quote-unquote, good people suffer? That is a really, really hard question to answer. And I don't want to turn it to the point where all are wicked and deserve destruction, even though that is true. That doesn't explain why there's people who do suffer more than others. Other than it shows, it is revealing something about who God is and who we are. That suffering illuminates things in our lives. But that's not a real satisfactory answer. Ask someone who's suffering from cancer, and yes, I can theologically explain it. But the best thing I can be is just there alongside and walk with them. Not a satisfactory answer. And not something that our atheist friend probably doesn't think is valuable. Just disagrees with the reasoning. So don't feel bullied by what you don't know. What you don't know is maybe specifically involved in the conversation. That's an opportunity for you to spend some research when you get done. But it's also an opportunity to affirm that I don't have to know the answer to all of life's questions because I know the Creator. And I can make a justifiable, reasonable position for why I believe what I believe. That's enough. I can be content in that. And so can you. So don't be afraid of hard questions. Don't be afraid of the gotcha questions where they go, you just don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about, but I don't know everything about everything that we could talk about. That's a standard that doesn't exist for me or you. Okay. Good. We're going to keep going. All right. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for